What is up, creatives? Welcome back. It's Jahrell, your music technologist, here to help you master the tech you need to make music freely. And I am pumped this evening to get into what we have to talk about tonight. But before we do that, I want to say a strong thanks and a strong welcome to everybody that's tuning in. Folks that are new, folks that are regulars. Welcome one, welcome all. And yo, if you're in here and you haven't done this yet, definitely subscribe to the channel. We're going to be covering topics like this, apps that are helpful for you for music production, and we're going to be doing stuff like gear reviews and tips and tutorials to help you master the tech you need to make music freely. So yeah, with that being said, welcome. I see DJ M Easy's in the building. I see Terrence Mosley, Graphwise, welcome. Defective Mindset, cool. Oh yeah, somebody new to the stream, dope. Welcome. Yeah, first time on the live. That's what's up. So, yeah, it's gonna be good. We're gonna be talking about CUBASIS 3 versus BEATMAKER 3. It's a heated and charged debate. Not really. I mean, there's people that aren't very, you know, we just use what we think is good. That's how it goes. Yo, Mo Music Pro is in the building. Welcome. What up? Dat Mini, welcome. Yeah, so yeah, we're gonna jump into it. Big Baby Productions, what's up? Welcome in the building. Yo, I see some folks rolling in, so we'll give y'all a couple seconds before we get going. But hey, right now, those of you that are here live, drop in the chat and let us know if you're somebody that's been doing iPad music production. What's your DAW of choice? Is it CUBASIS 3? Is it BEATMAKER 3? Is it something else? Let us know down in the chat what you're using to produce right now. And this is gonna be a fun one. So. Defective Mindset says, I'm ready to learn more after this $2,000 iPad with no pro apps purchase. Lol. Yeah. Yeah, that's how it is. But hey, I'm gonna show you guys, if you keep watching this channel, you'll see how to use what we have currently to a pro level. So yo, I see JJ Being 3 says BEATMAKER 3 easily. We know Mobile Music Pro uses CUBASIS 3 for sure. All right. Oh, Cody and Beard says BEATMAKER 3. All right, GarageBand Gang from Dat Mini. All right, I knew there'd be one. GarageBand, that's dope. Mobile Music Pro says, I'd argue CUBASIS and LumaFusion are pro apps. Juicy. Let's talk about it. All right, y'all. So I'm not gonna hold y'all any longer. Let's dive into the content. This is going to be a comprehensive review of BEATMAKER 3 and CUBASIS 3, kind of a comparison, if you will, pitting the two apps against each other, kind of just talking about the pluses and minuses of each, and trying to help you figure out which one's for you. That's ultimately what we're trying to do here, not try to like have some sort of championship belt match or something like that. We're just trying to figure out what you guys need for your specific needs, because everybody's music production needs are different. So Before I get into this disclaimer, I am aware there are a lot of other options when it comes to DAWs. So, you know, if you choose neither of these, that's cool. That's cool. I'm not sponsored by anybody, either of the two. So, yeah, let's dive into it. So, CUBASIS 3 versus BEATMAKER 3. Both of these are DAWs, that's digital audio workstations for iPad, and CUBASIS actually supports iPhone as well, where BEATMAKER 3 does not. So that's one difference already off the bat. Another thing to consider is price. So let's talk about price first. CUBASIS 3 comes in at $50. So it's not the cheapest DAW on the App Store, but it packs a lot in for that $50, and we're going to talk about that. Sometimes they have it on sale. I just checked, it is not currently on sale. But then we also have BEATMAKER 3. So let's get a little top-down view. BEATMAKER 3 is right here. CUBASIS 3 is right here. BEATMAKER 3 is made by Intua. CUBASIS 3 is made by Steinberg. BEATMAKER 3 goes for $26.99 in the App Store, which I think is a pretty sweet price. It is obviously cheaper than CUBASIS 3, and some might argue that's, you know, that's fair because how much CUBASIS packs in. But let's talk about some specifics here. So the first thing I have on our agenda, other than price, is aesthetics. So we want to talk about how the program looks when you're using you know, a DAW of any kind. You know, you're kind of drawn to how the layout looks. If it doesn't look right, if it doesn't feel right, it's not going to work for you. So let's start with BEATMAKER 3, and this is what that looks like right here. So I'll go ahead and pull up this view so you can see. This is the first screen you get when you open up BEATMAKER 3. You can open a session, which is what I just did. And then, you know, this is your basic layout. Everything's very flat when it comes to BEATMAKER 3. A lot of people, it's a love it or hate it with the BEATMAKER 3 layout. Yeah, this is everything's broken down into tabs. If you haven't yet, watch my video on BEATMAKER 3 Basics, the most recent video that I put out, going into exactly what the layout is, how everything works, how you can get started using this if you decide to use BEATMAKER 3 at the end of this. All right, cool. So this is kind of the layout when it comes to BEATMAKER 3. Some love it, some hate it. It's very gray, very monochrome, and it's very flat. The UI for CUBASIS is a lot more dynamic. If you're somebody that's done any desktop music production, you're used to this kind of this setup. It looks a lot more like a traditional DAW. You've got, you know, your mixer here, which you can resize, and things like that. So a couple pros for CUBASIS when it comes to aesthetics. I think CUBASIS 3 personally looks a lot better than BEATMAKER 3 does. I think it's a little bit more cluttered in my personal opinion. Things are kind of everywhere. I mean, once you get the hang of it, obviously you've got it, but there's a lot of different things to remember as far as where everything's located. But it is a much more visually pleasing interface, like when you go into things like your piano roll, and the fact that you can resize everything just like I did so that you can still see your playlist here and do stuff down here. That's a dope feature that CUBASIS has that BEATMAKER 3 does not have. Now, before I continue on, I just want to mention the reason I'm doing this comparison is because some things have changed since the last time I did a video like this. Some things have been updated for each application, and I'm going to dive into those tonight, so stay tuned, because I might not come to the same conclusion I came to at in the last video. So, all right, let's keep it moving. So we got aesthetics. Personally, I think I prefer the way CUBASIS looks. Much more dynamic, much more colorful. BEATMAKER 3 is much more flatter design. The fact that you can resize things in CUBASIS 3 is super dope. So when it comes to your basic functionality of a DAW, both of these get the job done for the most part. They both host plugins, AUV3 plugins, really well. Some might argue that BEATMAKER 3 is a little more unstable when it comes to AUV3 plugin hosting. Sometimes we get crashes and things like that. But also, I've also noticed recently when using CUBASIS that some of these, some of the plugins that I have on my iPad, some of the AV3s, are flat out not supported in BeatMaker 3 in comparison to CUBASIS 3. For example, one of those is the Rolling Noise app. And this is, ran out of memory. Very interesting. Okay. Huh. Well, there's your first glitch of the day. But the Rolling Noise app does not load as an AUV3 in BeatMaker 3, and I'm not sure why that is. Yo, really quick, Mobile Music Pro says 20 watching and only 5 likes. Smash that like, smash those likes, folks. Yeah, I appreciate that a lot. Definitely. Yo, definitely like the video, give it a thumbs up. What that does is it definitely puts this video in front of more people. The YouTube algorithm will pick it up and push it on, but it also helps fine tune your suggested feed with more dope content like this from myself or other creators who do similar things. So definitely appreciate that, Mobile Music Pro, for shouting it out. Let's close this out. Boom. There we go. Cool. So we were just talking about looks, aesthetics, and then we got into just the basic, input methods. Full support for AV3 plugins, full support for any MIDI devices that you may have, including Bluetooth MIDI. Both of those can be synced in both of these programs. And so that's, in my opinion, that's kind of a draw when it comes to, input methods, and both support class compliant interfaces, by the way. So anything that you have that's class compliant, it'll work fine with the iPad, it'll work fine in both of these DAWs. Now, this is what we need to talk about real quick, is stability. That is the next thing that we need to talk about. So this is a hot topic when it comes to iPad music production, because we run into our fair share of bugs in the iOS community, and I think it's because we don't have giant dev teams doing these things in most cases. But when it comes to Intua and Steinberg, Steinberg for CUBASIS 3 tends to be a little bit more frequent with the updates than Intua does. That's something to keep in mind, because if you're having glitches, it might take you some time to get updates from Intua. CUBASIS is generally a little bit quicker with that. But when it comes to stability in general, I've always said that CUBASIS is winning in that department compared to BeatMaker 3. But as of lately, I feel like it's coming to a bit of a draw. I don't know if anyone else is experiencing this, but I've been getting a fair amount of bugs on CUBASIS 3. I've had projects close out quite a few times. And that's something that was a bit surprising to me. One thing that scares the heck out of me as a music producer when CUBASIS shuts down, when it closes out, is there's no manual saving. At least, shout me out if I'm wrong, Mobile Music Pro. You can correct me if I'm wrong, but CUBASIS doesn't do manual saving. It's automatic. It automatically saves for you. I'm someone that when I'm producing in BeatMaker 3 or whatever, I spam the save button to make sure I've saved every step of the way. And I like to know when I press the save button last and what I'm going to get back if we get bugs, CUBASIS 3 does not let you manually save. There's an auto save. And so when it closes out, when it shuts down and it comes back, you may not get the very last thing that you did on there, which is super kind of like, that's kind of sketch. So that's something to keep in mind. Now, this isn't something that happens all the time, obviously, but I've had a fair amount of crashes. I've been working in CUBASIS 3 a bit lately, and you can see I've loaded up quite a few tracks in here. I am running on an M1 iPad Pro, the most recent one. So, oh, yeah, nice. Mobile Music Pro says, yep, no manual save. You'd have to duplicate the project to do manual multiple saves. That's a good workaround if you have to do that. Do duplicate the project. But yeah, so when it comes to stability, I've noticed a few more crashes specifically with plugins on BeatMaker 3, but I've seen a few more just full-on crashes from CUBASIS 3 lately. Now, BeatMaker 3 is really surprising me these days. It's been running pretty stable, and I think I've been getting that impression from a lot of other folks too, that they've been having a smoother time with BeatMaker 3. I haven't had BeatMaker 3 crashing lately, which is pretty great. So that's something that you got to consider when you're getting into this iOS territory. Now, if you are someone that absolutely has to have full-on stability like all the time, and you're very concerned about that, GarageBand might be something to check out for you. Now, it's a little bit more limited, but it's made by Apple and generally is more stable, but less features, less things you can do with it. I got a quick question. I'm going to answer it here. Defective Mindset says, oops, sorry, I clicked the wrong one. How hard is it to transition from VST plugins to AUV3? Is the sound quality still rich? It's a great question. They're both plugins. They're just different they're different types of plugins. So an AUV3 and a VST. VST is generally just what you would use on a desktop, although on Macs there are AUV3 plugins. So when you're using an AUV3 in any DAW on an iPad, just think of it as basically the same as a VST. The sound quality is not affected. It's still going to be really solid. So don't worry about that. And if you guys want some more recommendations, I'm going to do a video soon. I'm actually going to talk about one of my favorite synths tonight. So stay tuned if you want to catch that right after this. So, all right. Let's get right back to it. So we were talking about stability. In this department, I really do consider it a draw. The last time I talked about this, CUBASIS I put on top as far more stable, but I don't feel like that's the case anymore. BeatMaker 3 has gotten more stable, and in my opinion, CUBASIS 3 has gotten less stable. So that's where we're at with that. So next we're going to talk about like the feature set. We're going to talk about what things got added to close some of these gaps between the two. And this is what we're going to hit on real quick. So in my last video comparing BeatMaker 3 and CUBASIS 3, I mentioned that one of my biggest gripes with CUBASIS was the fact that you cannot, separately affect the pads like you can in BeatMaker 3. Let me just show you guys what I mean when I say that. So if I pull up BeatMaker 3 real quick, in BeatMaker 3, let's actually just load up a project real quick. Here we go. Cool. So in any project, if I go to one of these banks, and you can either hit show pads or you can double tap. If I double tap, here is every single pad separated by channel, and I can individually add effects or affect the volume, and that's something that CUBASIS 3 for the longest has not done. Now it still doesn't officially do this, but there are some ways around it because of some developments that have happened in the most recent large update to CUBASIS 3. So what am I talking about? I'm talking about multi MIDI out, and that is something that you can use kind of in the same way. So for example, I have the plugin called EG Pulse loaded up here in my CUBASIS 3 project. This is kind of like, the Banks tab in BeatMaker 3, but it's in plugin form. So you guys can do that. Let me have my headphones ready to go. Oh, we are getting some static. Hold up. Let me make sure I got my settings right. Boom, 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 boom. Oh, I wonder if it's because I have background audio with both. Let's see. So weird. Turn off studio quality. Strange. All right, let me close out. Might be because we're running a different setup. Yeah, I'm closing and reopening. I'm actually going to disconnect and reconnect my iPad. I don't usually do that on the stream. Yo, really quick, if you're just tuning in, hit that like button. I definitely appreciate it. It definitely helps out the channel. If you're getting value out of this content, you might as well hit it. Might as well. It ain't gonna hurt you none. Just click out, click it, come back. All right, cool. So we're back, and CUBASIS is loaded. Okay, so there we go. I'm not sure what happened there. Really not. But we're loaded up. I'm gonna set my settings back the way they were. Hopefully that still runs great. Yep. All right. So, like I said, yeah, Mobile Music Process shouldn't need to disconnect, reconnect. But yeah. Anyway, EG Pulse is a great app. It supports multi-MIDI out and kind of allows us to do those things we would like to do with BEATMAKER 3 inside of CUBASIS when it comes to separate mixer channels. So what you can do, matter of fact, let's open up a new project. We'll just call it new project, that's fine. And let's go ahead and open up EG Pulse really quick. We'll go over here and add an audio unit, EG Pulse multi-output. All right, cool. So I've got it all loaded up here, and I can play stuff in, you know, the way I would normally play stuff in. But then you need to go down here where it says add 15 tracks. Let me see if you can see that. On the left side over here, you see it says add 15 tracks. I'm gonna go ahead and hit that, and boom. It's added basically all 16 of the tracks from EG Pulse in here. So if I play anything, everything's separate, and you can see that in the mixer. So let me just record something really quick. All right, nothing fancy. And let's let that play with the mixer panel open, and you can see we're gonna have multiple things moving. So that'll be the last few here. Let's play it. Right? So we've got two separate channels that we're moving, and I can put effects on those individually. So this is kind of a workaround, but it actually is really smooth when it comes to being able to have separate tracks for each pad like you would be able to do natively in BEATMAKER 3. Oops. Cool. So that is an update that's happened, you know, since my last video, is the ability to do this. That is super dope in CUBASIS 3, that is. So, all right. We were talking about the feature set. Another thing that's changed with CUBASIS, which is so great, and I kind of talked about this in my last video, but CUBASIS now has the ability to sidechain natively. If you don't know what that means, it's all good. Check out my other videos on sidechaining, but you can sidechain in here natively, and an example of that is when you want your kick to cut through your mix, you need to be able to sidechain, and that's something that BEATMAKER 3 has always done really well, and CUBASIS 3 recently added the ability to do that, and it functions super well. It's super easy to do. You can use either their built-in compressor here in CUBASIS 3, or you can use a third-party compressor, which I think is super, super dope. So that is something that kind of evens the playing field a bit for me when it comes to BEATMAKER 3 versus CUBASIS 3. Now, some things that are unique to CUBASIS, we can talk about kind of, you know, the sounds that are included. Yeah, let's talk about that. So in CUBASIS 3, I would argue that there's more sounds available, more instruments available on purchase. Now, of course, this DAW costs almost twice as much as BEATMAKER 3, so you would hope there would be more included, and there is. No disappointment there. There's a lot of different sounds. If you go into add an instrument, we'll just do that here. Add a MIDI instrument, and there's just a list, a pretty solid list, and this is just one synth right here. These are all the different, you know, settings inside of Microsonic. Now you also have classic machines. Some of these some of these are in-app purchases. There's a lot of good in-app purchases available for CUBASIS 3. And then obviously you can load in your inter-app audio or your audio units. Now when it comes to BEATMAKER 3, there's the BEATMAKER 3 Sound Store. And you know, there's actually 3 free packs that come with BEATMAKER 3 when you buy it. I think those sounds are really solid. But you can also obviously go in and purchase more in the BEATMAKER 3 Sound Store, just like you can purchase additional sounds inside of CUBASIS 3. But CUBASIS 3 has a few more options. One of those options is a pretty important one, and that's the Waves Tune plugin, which allows you to auto-tune things. And I'm going to actually just show you guys really quick what that looks like. If I hit Waves Tune RT, boom, right there. So this is, and you guys can quote me on this if you want, in my opinion, this is the best auto-tuning plugin there is for iPad music production. I've had people ask me about this before. There really isn't anything else that comes this close, in my opinion, when it comes to auto tuning on your iPad. In BEATMAKER 3, I've tried the one Audio Kit auto tune plugin, and it crashes a lot. I haven't checked it in a while, but that plugin crashes a lot in BEATMAKER 3. This works really solid. It sounds good. There's still no manual tuning options when it comes to iPad music production, and that's a bummer. But that's neither here nor there when it comes to CUBASIS 3 versus BEATMAKER 3. But Benjamin is in the house. Welcome, man. Glad you're here. All right, cool. Moving on. When it comes to BEATMAKER 3, some things that are unique. People argue, and rightfully so, that CUBASIS has one of the best... CUBASIS. BEATMAKER 3 has one of the best samplers out there, and I would agree. It's really powerful, and the settings work really well, and everything's laid out really well. Kind of, you know, MPC style, if you will. And I'm not somebody that was ever an MPC guy, but when I dove into this, I was like, yes, this is it. Now, when it comes to the sampler inside of CUBASIS, it's lacking. It really is lacking. And that brings me to one other point when it comes to the built-in pads in CUBASIS 3. So there are pads that you can play things in. This is what they look like. But it is a pain to drag in your samples in here. It really is. In BEATMAKER 3, you can drag things from your Files app directly onto the pads, or you can drag it from your imports inside of BEATMAKER 3. In CUBASIS 3, you can only drag stuff in from the built-in media browser in here, and that's kind of a bummer. And when you do that, you can't put it right onto the pads. No, you've got to go to your keys. You've got to open up a sampler instrument. I'm just going to show you guys the process to do this because it's kind of long. So if I go here, go back from Microsonic, mini sampler is what you got to pull up. You can pull up, you can do, I pull up one of my presets, have a test kit here. If you want to load samples, you got to go into edit, and then you have keys, and you can put your samples from your imports right here. You have to go in, select each one, drag it over, and put it on the keys. That does not line it up immediately for your pads, right? So when it comes to your pads, you got to go up here to keys, and then you've got to flip this switch to pads. And actually, we don't want the MIDI sampler itself open. But basically, you go in here and you have to hit edit, and then you can select. You have to select drums here, and then you can select which instruments you want to drag over to each pad, or select what you want each pad to be. You can select it, boom, there it is. That is a lot. That is a lot just to load up some pads, right? So if you're somebody that wants to load up some stuff on some pads and get to drumming, the built-in CUBASIS drum pad is not it. You might be better off using something like EG Pulse. Like I said, you can pull open a slide over app, and you can just, the Files app, pull it over as a slide over, and you can just start dropping your drums, right? Yeah, you can just boom, drag, boom, and it's in there. That's nice. That's what needs to happen with the built-in pads in CUBASIS 3, and that's not something that that we have. So let's go back. We were talking about feature set. Yeah, so, okay, file management. When it comes to managing your files, bringing in your samples and everything, the process is pretty similar, to be honest. It's not too difficult. You just have to manage everything in your Files app, put it in your Imports folder, and you're good to go. One thing to consider when you're doing that is just what I said just a second ago about being able to drag in files onto pads. Can't do that in CUBASIS 3, but you can in BEATMAKER 3, right? All right, in BEATMAKER 3, we need to go over to BEATMAKER 3 real quick because some things have changed since my last video about BEATMAKER 3. So I mentioned in my last comparison between these two apps that BEATMAKER 3, it was very difficult to duplicate banks, and that is no longer the case. Let me go ahead and pull up this project here. If you want to duplicate something, you couldn't do this before, but you can now. Press and hold on the bank that you want and hit duplicate. Boom. There it is. It's there. And it's exactly that easy in CUBASIS 3 as well. If you want to duplicate something. By the way, all of the MIDI data is here too. It didn't just duplicate the instrument. It duplicated everything I played in right here. And that is super fire. Now, when it comes to over here on CUBASIS 3, if I want to duplicate something like this, I just go down here to this button right here and hit duplicate. And bada bing, there it is right there. And even the MIDI data as well. Super easy, super similar between the two. That is not something that was a thing in BEATMAKER 3. Now, JJ Bing mentions BEATMAKER 3 needs exploded tracks and layering. I agree. So what he means by this, we're going to break it down a little bit. BEATMAKER 3, when it comes to, you know, placing multiple pads, or sorry, when it comes to placing multiple patterns, for example, something like drums, you play something in on the pads here, right? You play something in, and then you've got your whole drum track. You play something in, and then once it's done, you're like, all right, cool. I want to split up these tracks and layer them in my playlist. Well, that's not how BEATMAKER 3 works. You have to literally stack your layers on top of each other. See, I don't know if you can see that, but I have a finger symbol pattern that I literally have to lay on top of my kick pattern. I'd rather have it below it, and that's really annoying to be, you know, 100%. And a lot of people agree that's not really a great way to do it. In CUBASIS 3, it's, to be honest, is not that different. You still have to, like, what you can do is duplicate it. And you can, you know, remove different MIDI notes from each section. Or for the example of EG Pulse, if you're using EG Pulse, you could play something in. And then you could just put the different MIDI tracks on these different MIDI tracks that are already created here, which is kind of perfect. Benjamin says, but BEATMAKER 3 has the drums already exploded in the mixer. That's great for mixing, but that's not great for arranging. When it comes to arranging, it really is a pain to have to go in and separate your drum tracks the way that we have to do it now. Of course, you could make a whole separate pattern where all the drums are in one pattern and then have a different pattern for the drums. And I think that's the way Intua envisions you making your drums, but that's not the way everyone does their drums. I like to have everything broken up by the instrument that was played. So for example, if I have a tambourine that I'm shaking and I have a kick that I'm playing, and I want to be able to say, all right, in this section of the song, I want the kick, but I don't want the tambourine, and I don't have to go make a separate pattern for that. I'd like to go, I don't want to have to layer those on top of each other because it's difficult to try to chop them up when they're stacked on top of each other. So yes, we need an exploded view for the tracks. I would agree with that. So when it comes to handling, you know, separate tracks and things like that, the layout, in my opinion, is a lot better on CUBASIS 3. I think that's a win for CUBASIS 3 for that one. So people are sharing their workarounds with BEATMAKER 3, so I'll share a couple. JJ Bing says, I make one pattern and then duplicate it 3 times. That's a fair way to do it. Make one pattern with the drums and then duplicate it out. And then you can, you know, erase certain drums from each one. The problem with that is now, when you go into your mixer, let's just look at that. So say I played all my drums in, right, and I wanted to separate it between these 2 tracks, but when I go to my mixer, check it out. Now I've got this one and this one, you know, they both have the drums separated out inside the banks. And I have to remember which one I actually had each instrument on in order to mix it. You know, I'd rather just have my one bank with all of my things that I can mix the way I want. And then I can just then I can just lay them out, you know, vertically right here. That would be solid. So I think that's a need. But anyway, we can move on from that. I'll get off my soapbox. But all right. So let's talk about it. We're going to recap this a little bit. We've got CUBASIS 3 versus BEATMAKER 3. Both are solid DAWs. You're not going to go wrong with them. You definitely have to consider stability when it comes with these 2 DAWs. They're kind of, you know, they're kind of tied when it comes to stability these days. Also, some things that BeatMaker 3 does better, has a much better sampler in my opinion, in the opinion of many others, much better sampler. The layout is much easier to learn. I didn't mention that, but the learning curve for BeatMaker 3 I feel like is much lower than it is on CUBASIS 3. There's a lot to learn, and if you're not familiar with DAWs at all, it might take you longer to learn CUBASIS 3 than it would to learn BeatMaker 3. When it comes to BeatMaker 3, some of the AUV3 plugins I use aren't supported. So you're going to get a better option when it comes to CUBASIS 3, where everything, most things are supported. And most AUV3s function better in CUBASIS 3 than they do in BeatMaker 3. Less crashes and things like that when it comes to plugins. And then we have price. Obviously, BeatMaker 3 is significantly cheaper than CUBASIS 3. CUBASIS 3 comes in at $50, and BeatMaker 3 comes in at $26.99. Now, CUBASIS 3 will include an iPhone app, so you can use CUBASIS 3 on your iPhone. There's no such thing for BeatMaker 3. Benjamin says BeatMaker 3 just needs to stop crashing. Yeah. You gotta give the devs some grace here. I don't think these are particularly large teams. I think CUBASIS 3 is a bit larger when it comes to their team, or quite a bit larger probably, which is I think why they've historically done a bit better when it comes to stability. Yeah, I really like this comment by YoServe, and I second this. Both are great. You just got to stick with one and learn it. Yes, I 100% agree. You can make great music in both. I feel like I've done that, not toot my own horn or anything, but it really comes down to what you're willing to learn for each one. If you can come up with a good workflow in CUBASIS 3 and make it happen, or you can come up with a good workflow in BeatMaker 3 and make it happen, then you're good. You got to find what works for you. And that's why, to be honest, I have both of these DAWs. I recommend both of these DAWs. Earlier in the stream, I think Mobile Music Pro says, or you know what, actually it was Benjamin put in before we even started the stream. His vote was, I vote BeatMaker 3 for making beats and CUBASIS 3 for vocal recording. And I feel like that's a good mix right there. I think the tracking in CUBASIS 3 and the layout is much better suited for trying to do things like vocals. Things like, I didn't really talk about this, but being able to just edit your volume right here by dragging this down just for the specific clip, not for the whole song, just this particular clip. I want to lower the volume, or I want to make a fade out, right? Let me, if I can get it to work. There we go. I can fade it out. That's super easy. Things like that. CUBASIS 3 seems to really think about making things easy to do. JJ Bing says that was his comment. My bad. I remember reading it, but I couldn't remember who said it. But yeah, I'm hearing some folks mention AUM. AUM, in my opinion, it's hard as well. I agree. But Benjamin says it isn't hard, it's just a mixer. To me, it's just wrapping your mind around that workflow, and I haven't been able to do that yet. But hey, my verdict, as far as my DAW of choice, I'm not going to give my firm decision on BeatMaker 3 anymore. I really am coming to love both of these, and I think they're both really solid options. If you guys have any questions about BeatMaker 3 or CUBASIS 3, definitely leave them down in the comment section. Or you could follow me on Twitter and Instagram, and you can DM me there, and I will be happy to share what I know. If I can respond to your comment, I will. Oh yeah, Benjamin says that was his comment before the stream started. It's hard to keep up with that stuff, but yeah, okay, cool. Yeah, and I would say you're right, Benjamin. I think that's a good way to think about it. But hey, we're going to go ahead and transition here pretty soon. If you are, looking for more BeatMaker 3 content, definitely check out my BeatMaker 3 playlist with, I feel like just about everything's covered in there. I'm going to do a video soon on automation in BeatMaker 3, but also I am going to make some more CUBASIS content, so stay tuned for that. I did some on my last stream, but there's going to be more coming. So the next thing I want to talk about is the most beautiful soft synth I've ever used. I don't just mean on the iPad, I mean ever. We're going to talk about it right when we come back. Don't go anywhere. See you in like 30 seconds. Welcome back. I'm here. It's Jahrell. For those of you that are just tuning in, your music technologist, here to help you master the tech you need to make music freely. If you haven't done it already and you're still watching from earlier, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I do live streams like this every single Tuesday, and I'm here to help you guys make dope music and to master the tech you need to do that. So if that sounds like something you're interested in, definitely hit that sub button. Oh, my little bro Noble Amani is in the building. Welcome, bro. Welcome. Glad to see you here. I mentioned my favorite soft synth for the iPad is what we're going to be talking about right now. I saw some guesses in the chat. Mobile Music Pro said $5 says it's Synth Master 2. You would have been paying me $5 if that was true. No, it's not Synth Master 2. He did mention Flint though, which is similar to what I'm going to be mentioning. I don't know if I've ever seen Flint. Maybe you had a typo, but it is in fact Flint. Flint by the guys at by the folks at Finger Lab. This is, in my opinion, the most beautiful soft synth I've ever used. It's really solid. It is free at first, and then you can pay the in-app purchase, which I believe, I want to say it was like $6 or $7. Really cheap. Really cheap. Yeah, Mobile Music Pro. You must have meant Flint. Yes, Flint is super solid. So the main thing I love about this synth is it's very stable. In any DAW I've used it in, I do not have any issues with it, like not loading or popping up, issues like that, or anything with like crashing and stuff like that. It always loads. It loads great, and those are the kind of synths you're going to see me. Those are the kind of apps you're going to see me recommend here on this channel. I'm really going to start cracking down on finding the things that function the best, and sharing those with you, because I want you guys to have solid experiences when you're trying to make your music. Nothing derails the creative process more than glitches or just being in your own head. Let's see, MacMan Span says, anybody know if BEATMAKER 3 allows for nudging MIDI notes and tracks by ticks or milliseconds without finger dragging? It kind of does. I don't think you can do it, you said without dragging. One thing I do like about BEATMAKER 3 is if you're trying to drag out a MIDI, some MIDI that you've played, if you press and hold on the pattern long enough, it'll zoom in really close so that you can make very, very fine adjustments when you're moving it over. And so, yeah, I would say it's really good for nudging your MIDI notes, unless you're talking about within the playlist. It doesn't support, BEATMAKER 3 does, I should have mentioned that before. CUBASIS 3 supports some keyboard shortcuts, but BEATMAKER 3 does not. So that's something that you got to think about. But anyway, back to the topic at hand. Let me stay focused. Flint. Might be kind of loud. Sorry if that's really loud for you guys. I'll turn this down a hair. But you know what? Let me go ahead and pull out a keyboard so I can give you guys a MIDI keyboard so I can give you guys some good demo on how this sounds. But just the layout of everything is really nice. So this is where you go in for MIDI. Here we go. I've got my MIDI controller turned on. Selected MIDI source. Session 1 is not, that's not what we want. Select a MIDI source. Okay. Let's see, we'll hit reset. I haven't tried, this is something I haven't tried, is syncing a MIDI controller to the app by itself. I've obviously used a MIDI controller when using it inside of a DAW. So let me see if I can do this. Let's do this. I can, in fact, close out CUBASIS. Let's just open it inside of BEATMAKER 3 and I'll demo it that way. So we'll do new, and we'll go ahead and add it as a plugin here. And we'll go to Flint right here, load plugin. Okay, we'll pull it up. Cool, and then we'll just sync my MIDI controller right here, and we'll do it that way. Cool. All right, so we should be getting some audio. Let's turn this off. Swipe out of that. Let's see. Thank you guys for hanging in there. Just trying to make sure it's functioning correctly. That should work. Huh. How strange. Let's go ahead and reconnect here. I don't think it's an X key error issue this time. I think we're having an issue getting audio out from this synth. Let's see. Well, you know what? Here's what I'll do. We'll just use the actual app page. We'll just not use a MIDI keyboard right now. Should have demoed that myself, done a practice set. But let's talk about this really quick. I love the way this is laid out. Everything is very visually pleasing, very easy to adjust these knobs. I really like the care they took into making this a very simple layout. I think this is very user-friendly for anyone, regardless of whether you're familiar with manipulating synths or not. Everything is really well laid out. I like that there's a volume, octave, and pitch right here, and that doesn't change no matter what patch you pull up. There is a built-in arpeggiator. That's really solid. Now I know that's par for the course when it comes to synthesizers. There's other ones that have it, but not all of them do. This one has an arpeggiator built in. You can set your tempo and you can set your note values. So if I play a chord down here, go ahead and set my octave up one. Something like that. That's super fire. Just being able to have a built-in arpeggiator, and you can turn that off, obviously. And it does actually change the what's the word? The rhythm with however many notes you're playing. So if I play, we're no longer in triplets, we're in, quadruplets. That's pretty fire. I like the built-in arpeggiator. It's really nice and really easy to use. That's the main theme with this app. It's just very, very user-friendly. So, there's a lot of really good patches in here, built-in presets. Now, when you first get the app, if you're getting the free version, you're going to get about 3 or 4, maybe 5 presets per tab here. So you get the leads, you'll get about 3 or 4 in here. Same thing with bass, organ, pads, FX, and your user tab where you can, save your own presets, which is super dope. But if you unlock the full purchase, you get all of these pretty awesome, patches that are pre-made for you. So this is one of the main ones that it comes with, is Australian. It's kind of loud. Let me turn that down. And they all sound really nice. Now, the cool thing is you can set these LFOs, which this isn't something you can do in the free version, but you can map these to mess with any of these parameters over here. So you can go over here and hit parameter, and you can set filter cutoff is what it's set to right now. And filter cutoff is over here. So it's going to move this knob right here, and I can change the depth and the rate. And if I press this, you're seeing it's moving this knob right here. So we're getting some wobble in there, which is really nice. Some filtering, right? Now you can set a different parameter if you want. If you select this button, you can see, I don't know if you can tell this, but all of these knobs are flashing. You can select a knob, any knob, like resonance, for example, and that's now mapped to this LFO. And you can play it and hear that it's changing things, right? You can change the depth. I can make it do a lot. And then you can change the rate. I can make it go a lot faster. Right? Pretty solid. And there's 2 LFOs built in. I can select a different parameter with this one. So select a parameter. Let's say I want some vibrato. We're gonna do the rate of vibrato, and we will set the depth here, rate here, and let's turn this LFO off. Now we're just getting the rate of vibrato is automating basically. Nice. Dr. Don Wilson is in the chat, and he says you can get Flint Complete for $4.99. Thank you for letting me know. I couldn't remember exactly how much I paid for it. But yeah, $4.99 for this synth is super good in my opinion. But yeah, you can have these 2 LFOs running at the same time, and they can automate anything you want. On top of that, you can have your ARP here, and you can set those parameters, and it's super user-friendly. You can also change your envelope. You know, do some ADSR in here and get things to sound however you want. Customize your tail where it drags out a lot, you know. It's really solid. You can change your waveform. You know, there's lots of settings. So that's a lead. You can check out the basses. The basses are pretty dope. Let's see, click out of there. There's different settings for that, different presets. Comes with a lot of really solid presets. You know what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to use this. I'm going to use Flint in the beat that I make tonight. You guys can see how it goes. But really solid. You can also do some just straight up recording within this app. So if you want to just record something that you're playing, hit record, watch. Turn off recording, and boom, you've got a recording. And you can bounce that out to your DAW. So if you just want to, doodle around in Flint a little bit and come up with something that you like, and then drag that into your DAW later, that's something you can do. That's pretty solid too. You can also obviously make a new synth, a new user patch, and you can save your own presets. You can also save as, and then there's your MIDI settings in here, and that's it. It's really simple. It's a really simple synth. I like the pads. The pads are really nice. This is one of the main reasons I use this. That's bright. That's the bright pad. And then you can try Cosmos. I'll just demo a few for you guys so you can hear these sounds. Okay, we got iSpace. Long. Some pad examples. And these are all really good, in my opinion. Anyway, so these are some examples. It's really, you know, in my opinion, one of the nicest sounding and easiest to use plugins, soft synths out there. Flint by the folks at Finger Lab. They have a whole host of other apps here. I have used Mellow Sound a lot. That's something that I use a lot. And then also, it's kind of like cousin app or sister app is Mynth. And that one's actually really nice too. It's laid out pretty much the same way. I can just open it because I already have it. I'm not going to talk about this tonight, but this is also laid out similar. It's got a lot more tweaking you can do than Flint, and it's kind of, you know, this is more of your playground for advanced users, being able to use 4 LFOs, 2 filters, and yeah. So there's a lot to it, but Flint by FingerLab is, in my opinion, the most beautiful, not just in sound, but in visuals, the most beautiful soft synth that I've ever used. So, I've seen a couple things in the chat. Let's see. Benjamin says he heard Tonality is free right now. That's fire. I haven't used Tonality yet, but you guys should check that out. And then let's see. Okay. I also saw, so it says free in the description, but $5.99. Oh, you guys must be talking about Tonality. Okay, cool. All right, you guys, that's going to be it for that. The next thing we're going to do, if you know the channel, you know how this goes down. I'm going to get into some live beat making, so don't go anywhere. We'll be back in about 60 seconds. I'm going to get everything set up here, and then we're going to get into it. So stay tuned. All right. All right, welcome back. We are back. We're gonna go ahead and get into some live beat making. If you're just now tuning in, definitely check out what I've done before. When you're done with this, rewind the video and check it out. But for those of you that have been sticking around and you haven't subscribed yet, if you made it this far, you must like something that you're seeing. So stick around. Let's make it official. Go ahead and subscribe. You'll get more content just like this every single week. So I'm actually going to do something that might make me slightly uncomfortable tonight, and I'm going to try to produce straight in CUBASIS 3, kind of in the vein of, you know, me comparing the two for this video. I'm going to try to use the one that I don't use as much. I'm going to use CUBASIS 3, and I feel like doing some live instruments tonight. I'm going to try to do a few. Those of you that really know me know that my secondary instrument from college is the string bass, the stand-up bass, the upright bass. I'm going to try to use some of that, incorporate some of that, maybe a little bit of live percussion, and I want to use some Flint since that's a synth that I featured earlier in this project. But if you're new to the way I do this, you might not hear a lot from me when I really get into the process. I get a little quiet, but you can observe and see exactly what I'm doing, and hopefully get some tips for you on your own music production, as well as just seeing somebody create and seeing how that process goes. So I'm going to go ahead and title this session. Today is the 22nd, I believe. There we go. All right, fresh session loaded up. Make sure I got the headphones set. Got my mic over here. It's kind of in the way, but it's working. I'm going to record some live bass, hopefully. All right, so we're going to load an audio track. Let's get the loop button turned on. I think we're going to try to make a 4-bar loop. And let's see. Do I want to go for an odd time signature? I feel like I kind of do. Yo, Ludnell Manya, welcome back. Glad you're here. All right, let's see. Let's see, how do I want to do it? How do I want to do it? Let's see. Let's just stick with 4/4, that's fine. Let me just play around, see a little bit of what tempo I want to go for. Something like that. Let's see, pick tempo. Let's see. Let's see. See, that's better. Let's see. There we go. Something like that. Yeah, there we go. There we go. Two, three, and. Yeah, all right, I'm gonna record that. Hopefully I can get it right without messing up. All right, we got the mic set. It's a little heavy. I'm trying to make it stay up. Guess I could take that acoustic thing off real quick. That'll work. All right, cool. All right, let's see if we can do it. All right, we're record armed. Let's do it. 2, 3. We're gonna have to do another take. But hey, oh, we're not getting any audio. That's because my power was not on my mic. All right, let's try that again, shall we? All right. Erase. That's what I want. All right, here we go. 2, 3. I think that's what we want. There you go. Yes, the joys of recording live. Gotta get a couple takes in. Yo, Benjamin, happy to see some. I see you're happy to see some live instruments back in the stream. I gotta bust them out every once in a while. I don't hit them every time, but sometimes. I try to get a few in there. All right, let's get rid of this extra that we had left over. See if we got a good take. Yeah, I think that's pretty solid. All right, let's get some effects on that. Some EQ. Oops. Here we go. Keith Tut says, where did that bass come from on that intermission? I can't remember how that song goes. It's been a minute since I've heard it myself, but it's probably Moog Model D. It probably is. If it's a lo-fi track, I probably use Moog Model D. And it probably was the Java bass patch in Model D. So cop Model D. It's fire. But back to it. All right. Let's get some drums going. I gotta decide what kind of drums I want. They gotta be more organic feel. Shots, effects. Let's see. Oops, oops, oops. Dang, that's no bueno. Well, okay. Gotta remember what I'm doing. All right. Tonal loops. I don't want tonal loops. Trying to try out some new drums. Oh, Dusty Cuts is usually really solid, so let's get some drums out of here. I like this one in the middle. Let's do shaking. Oh yeah, we gotta go back in and add in the MIDI channels. Here we go. All right, here we go. Why is it so quiet? It's very quiet. Oh, because the bass is kind of clipping. All right, let's get some EG pulse in here. We gotta find some more. I don't want to wear you guys out with that same bass line over again, but I'm trying to. Let me find my drums. Once I got a good kick and a snare, it'll be over. I need a good snare, but let's see if I can get a hi-hat in here that I like. Ooh, that's a nice one. Alright, well, let me hear what this one sounds like anyway. Ooh, I might use both of those. Alright, let's throw this over here. So let's deal with the closed hat here. We'll do the open hat here. Alright, we need a better snare than that. Let's get some snares in here. Dusty sounds. Let's see. Dusty drums. Fills, I don't really want to fill. That could come in handy, but maybe not for this track. Alright, dusty hip hop too, that could work. Here we go. Drum hits. Here we go, we got a good snare. Alright, here we go. Let's go through these snares real quick. That one could work. Ooh. I kind of like that one. Oh, I lost it though. Dang it. Alright, we're going to go backwards from here. That's pretty nice. I'm going to throw that in here. We'll put it right here. Everything's so quiet. I hate that. I'll have to change that. Oh, that's another thing I need to do. Go into Easy Pulse, go to Edit, not Edit, Mixer. Yeah, we need to turn the volume way up on that, and that should fix it. Let's go. Try to even things out a bit. Yeah. Yeah, that'll work. All right. Hopefully I didn't make it too hot. Gonna need to start labeling these. Alright, so 15 I believe. This hat is way too loud. Let's see. Oh yeah, we need to be on mixer. Yeah, this hat. Yo, Benjamin, I'm glad you mentioned the count. I should hit up his drums. Yeah, let's do that. Let's get some count drums up in here. That'll help things. All right, let me get that bass line going again. Right there under the count. There we go. Let's set up these snares. Ooh. I kind of like that. There's a lot of good ones in here. Ooh. Alright, let's hit the rim shot. Alright, I'm gonna have to use that one too. Rugged. Alright, we're getting there. Let's check out the hi-hat, see if we got some better ones in here. Yeah, I like that one. Sounds pretty rugged. All right. Yeah. All right, let's see how much of this I can do live. I don't know. Let's see. All right, here we go. I know what I'm gonna do. Let's get some recording in. All right, so we should be good for me to record using EG Pulse. Let's see. 2, 3, and. Let's see if we can we quantize this to the nearest quarter note. All right, cool. I'm gonna bust out the MIDI controller so we can get some more expressive kick and snare. Got the Synth Morph loaded up. Gonna pull that out and get it connected. Here we go. Host. Morph. Done. All right, here we go. Let's get that in. And then we have to EQ these drums. 2, 3. Alright, let's get this EQ fixed a little bit. Start, I think. All right, cool. I'm gonna grab a ride cymbal. We'll do some of that. Let's get some live ride cymbal. All right, let's see. wasn't swinging enough. Let's do that again. Also, these are, there we go. All right. Figure out where I want to go with this. Alright, really quick, got to do some basic mixing stuff. I want to go ahead and try to, I'm going to sidechain this bass a little bit so the kick can cut through without getting issues. This is supposed to be on Do Not Disturb. Why am I getting text messages in Do Not Disturb? Okay. Alright. Okay. Alright, so let's see if we can sidechain this. We'll go, oh, right, we need to label our kick channel. So let's press play. This one's a kick, and we will label it kick. We'll call this one hi-hat. Alright, this is the snare. This is snare 2. Alright. Back to Pro C2. Alright, where are you at? Kick, there you are. I don't know if the kick is cutting through right. It's a little hot. Alright. Let's mute that for a second. Sidechain this a little bit. Yeah, there we go. Yo, Michael Washington, thanks for rolling through. Yo, Terrence Millsy, thanks for rolling through, you guys. Take it easy. Alright, let's get a little EQ on that too. There we go. Alright, let's get some melodic material in here. some Flint in here. Well, you know what? First, let's do some piano. Get those chords. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see. Let's see. We gotta get some overlap in there. Let's see if we can get that second chord to work. Kind of like that. Oh yeah, there we go. Let's see, can I get there chromatically? Let's see if I can do that. Alright, let's see if we can get this piano to sound a little more wavy. Alright, I'm gonna use a little koala, throw a little koala on here. There we are. We're getting there. We're getting there. Alright, so that's the first chord. We'll go. Yeah. It's hard to hit. And then what are we gonna do for the second chord? Ooh, I kind of like that. All right, let's see what I can do. I think I got something. Let's try it. Oh, so close, so close. Let's do that again. All right, let's try it again. All right, let's see. So I'm gonna do. Yeah, that'll work. Ah, that's the chord I gotta get. The second chord. For the record, I'm not a pianist. I'm just doing my thing. Let's see if I can get this. Alright, I'm gonna fix that. We'll go in and do it this way. Let's see. Alright, let's make those a little bit more in time. Let's see. Drag these guys this way. And then we gotta hit an F in there. So let's do copy. Did I get that? All right, cool, and then we'll paste it. Paste. There we go. I gotta fix that. Oops. Make both of these a little longer. Okay, we need to turn this whole thing down. Let's see, gotta make sure I hit that right. Dun, dun, dun. I think we got that one right. All right, so let's go ahead and erase that one. Drag this one over. Let's see. Yeah, that's the one we need to get rid of right there. Erase. Okay. Let's see. I think I wanted to hit on the A, but I think I do want a little bit of a grace note in there. All right, here we go. Let me see. Yeah, that's more like it. That. What was that? All right, let's sidechain that to proceed to sidechain to the kick. Okay. Sidechain, and that should work. We're just gonna make these chords longer than they're set. Whoa, undo please. like so far? In there. All right, let's get some more percussion in here. Cool. All right, here we go. Audio. All right, here we go. Benjamin says, I wish more YouTubers would talk about getting simple live percussion instruments to add to tracks. Yeah, I mean, it's to each their own, you know. I mean, some people are into more like the trap style synthetic drums. And I am too sometimes, depends on what the track is. But it really does help to have a nice little arsenal of, you know, real percussion instruments. Now, I mean, my arsenal is not super big, but and most of the ones I use are pretty cheap, so it's not hard to build this up. But yeah, it's definitely helpful to have some percussion instruments. You can get that real raw, lifelike feel. So let's see, what do I want to do next? All right, let's see if we can get some Flint in here. I did say I would use it, so let's see. I'm gonna add it right here. That's better. Oh, we're disconnected. subdued. Let's get some. Ooh, let's try one of the organ ones. Let's turn the ARP off. I don't like that sound. Trying to decide what I want to do here. Got to find the right pad. Ooh, that one gets hot. Just kill the volume on that a little bit. That one gets really hot. Benjamin wants to know what mic I'm using. I'm using the Blue Spark, and I have just an Alctron vocal isolator here, like just, you know, an on mic vocal isolation chamber. Yeah, so it's the Blue Spark, and it's the older model, not the newer model. So yeah, and I use it for vocal and recording samples. Yeah. All right, cool. All right, let me get back to the essence. Let's solo this. Okay, we're getting somewhere. The tail just a little long on that one. Let's see if I can, yeah, reel it in a little bit. Let's try something like that. There we go. Alright, I'm gonna undo that one. That's a misnuts. Let me see if I can get that right. Okay. See, do we have reverb on here somewhere? Oh, I already changed that. Let's try something like that. Let's see what we got. 2, 3. That's not syncing metrically. That's not gonna work. So let's try a different sound. Someone asked me what I think of Brope in Flint. Which section is that under? If you don't mind me asking. If you know, let me know. Brope. Oh, it's under lead. Ooh, I kind of like that. Ooh. Yeah, I might use that. Good suggestion. All right, let's try that. Oops. We're getting there. All right, let's see if I can get that in. Something like that. If I can get these notes right, man. All right, here we go. We got it. One more take. Here we go. There we go. All right, perfect. Yo, I see people are copping Flint. That's dope. See if I can get some delay on that. Ooh, hold on. This is sounding kind of fire, except for it's not in time. So, oh yeah, we need some dry in there. This is crazy. I've never messed with this delay before. Alright, I like how that's going so far. That kick just needs some help, so we're gonna help it. Put some reverb on this. Let's try Pro R. Yeah. Let's get some side chain going on that too. So somebody somebody named Hebrew just tuned in and said, so which do you think is better? I'm assuming you're referring to the title of this video, BEATMAKER 3 versus CUBASIS 3. At the end, you got to go back and watch. You got to go back and watch to see, you know, what I was talking about. But to answer your question, to me, I don't have a favorite right now. I mean, I'll probably go back and forth between the two, but they both offer really good features. So go back and watch the video, check out and see what I said about each, and that'll help you if you're on the fence. Yeah, cool. Keith Tut says, I've been playing along. That's dope. That's dope. Yo, I'd love to hear whatever it is you came up with. If you ever want to send it my way, send it through Twitter. Send me a DM. I'll check it out. All right. Let me see what I got, and we might wrap it up here pretty soon. See if we can unmute everything. I think the next thing to do would be to put in some cymbal crashes, and I think I want to do some live cymbal crashes on here, and then maybe start patterning it out. But my daughter's asleep right now, so I can't be hitting crash cymbals at my house. Yo, I see a quick question. It says, yes, I don't see choke feature in CUBASIS. Do you think it's important? I guess it depends what you mean by choke feature. Do you mean choking like the whole mix? You would probably want to use a plugin for that, something like maybe Slow Machine. Let's see. Yeah, you know, I don't know a whole lot of other plugins for that, but I don't know if there's even that feature in BEATMAKER 3. Oh, you mean choke between, you probably mean the choke between the different pads and being able to decide what you want to choke the others. Yeah, that is probably going to be a no. I haven't seen that feature in CUBASIS 3, but I'm not super sure. You should ask Mobile Music Pro. He's the CUBASIS guy. But I do know, yeah, you can edit choke and stuff like that in BEATMAKER 3, which is, haven't quite figured out how to do that in CUBASIS 3. It doesn't mean it's not there, but I haven't seen it. So sorry if that doesn't answer your question very well. Yeah, so that has been it, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'm going to pattern this beat out at some point, and maybe, who knows, if this beat makes the cut, we might bring it back around and try to pattern it out live. I'm going to try to start doing some more live arranging videos. But yeah, surprisingly, the result the conclusion we came to this time around when it came to BEATMAKER 3 versus CUBASIS 3 really surprised me. And you know, the offerings that both of these apps are putting up are pretty great. And I think that, you know, going forward, you know, it's just going to keep getting closer and closer the better these apps, you know, update and integrate. And the more stable they get, you know, that it's going to be better for everybody. So definitely, question of the day. Let me know down in the comments which of the two was your favorite DAW, BEATMAKER 3 or CUBASIS 3. I want to know, and if you're rocking something other than those two, I'd love to hear it down in the comments. I'm always down to check out suggestions. Doesn't mean I can check out try to integrate my workflow with every single app, but I will try to check it out for you guys. Thank you guys for rolling through. I definitely appreciate you guys. Yo, Hebrew, you're welcome. Bless up, bro. All right. That's it, creatives. Go make something dope, and I'll see you in the next video.